Hi, we're going to talk about what Wi-Fi is and the evolution of Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi means wireless fidelity. It's when computers and devices started talking to each other without cables. Wi-Fi is part of the 802.11 IEEE standard. Wi-Fi 1 was only 2 megabits per second and it wasn't really commercially used. Wi-Fi 2 was firstly introduced in 1999 by Apple and it had a speed of 11 megabits per second. Thereafter came Wi-Fi 3, which was 54 megabits per second, and Wi-Fi N, which was 600 megabits per second. These were all operating on 2.4 gigahertz. Wi-Fi 5 is known as the 802.11 AC standard, and it started using the 5 to 6 gigahertz band as well. Wi-Fi 6 is also 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, and it has a significant amount of contributions to making Wi-Fi better over and above the previous Wi-Fi standards. First of all, it has a theoretical maximum speed of 10 megabits per second. This is done by increasing the modulation from 256 QAM to 1024 QAM, which means 10 bits per symbol rather than 8 bits per symbol. It's got 4 times longer symbol length, which translates to better coverage and better reliability. The channels, the bandwidth of the channels increased to 660 megahertz, which means a wider path, bigger pipe, more flow. The biggest contributor is OFDMA, which basically means that in one packet there's information for multiple clients. Traditionally in Wi-Fi, if a packet leaves the access point towards the client device, it's got information only for that client. With OFDMA, that packet has information for multiple clients. It's the same as having a truck driving to one person with one parcel, or a truck driving to multiple clients with parcels for all of them. It just results into a more efficient trip. Another contribution is 8x8 multi-user MIMO. Means that the access point can talk to 8 different clients at the same time in the uplink and in the downlink. There's also a function called BSS Color, which means that multiple Wi-Fi 6 access points can distinguish from each other so that their signals do not influence each other, so they can ignore each other's signals. The last thing is more related to the IoT world. It is called target wake time. Sometimes Wi-Fi devices disconnect or stop communicating if there's no traffic flow over a period of time. But with TWT, the access point gives the client device a specific time when it can expect communication. Wi-Fi 6E is an extended band. The E means that there's an extra frequency band from 6 to 7.2 gigahertz. This extra 1.2 gigahertz of spectrum allows for Wi-Fi 6 to really reach its full potential. All the new Wi-Fi 6E devices will then be able to communicate in that new band, and all the legacy devices will not influence it in the old Wi-Fi standards. The previous Wi-Fi standards are basically good enough for the average home consumer, but with increasing bandwidth and increased density with more devices, Wi-Fi 6 doesn't only allow for better speed, but also more capacity to serve many devices. Wi-Fi is also backwards compatible, meaning that any Wi-Fi device can talk to any Wi-Fi access point.